This is not financial advice. This is not legal advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only, and everything I say is my opinion. Please do not make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. That being said, hit the like button, subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff so you get the videos as I put them out. Excuse me. That being said, we know a lot of the information they put out is fake, and the reason they put out that fake information is to kind of psychologically manipulate us into selling our shares, but all the paper hands are gone and it's only diamond hands left, so they can continue doing it, they can continue spending money doing it, but we're not going anywhere. But the purpose of this video is this. I just got out of a meeting with Johnathan Harris and SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. The Hester Pierce that's always abstaining or voting against legislature that helps retail investors. And I have to admit, I didn't find it to be a nasty person. I kind of liked her. I enjoyed the meeting with her. She came across as very likable to me. And this is just my opinion. I know everybody's entitled to their opinion, but she came across as being very likable to me. That being said, that didn't stop me and Johnathan from asking the hard questions. We asked about the dark pools, and she kind of tried to break it down that the dark pools were put in place for the big institutional transfer of funds and shares and all this other nonsense. But I interjected and explained to her that yes, we all know why the dark pools were put in place, but we all know that that is not how they use the dark pools today. I told her that they use the dark pools to manipulate the price of any stock they want, and that should be illegal. And of course, she kind of beat around the bush. She said she had to investigate that further. Then I asked her about brokers breaching their fiduciary responsibility with their clients by lending their shares. I said, once a person, a client, a shareholder puts their shares with a broker, the broker has a fiduciary responsibility to protect the value of these assets. And when the broker takes your shares and lends them out, the broker is violating that fiduciary responsibility because the broker knows that he is lending your shares to somebody whose sole intent is to devalue the property that you have, the value of your shares. Okay? Then we also asked her about payment for order flow, and Johnathan was very, very specific. He told her Bernie Madoff invented payment for order flow. So if one of the biggest Ponzi schemers in U.S. history invented something, that should be enough for it to be illegal in the United States. He also explained to her that it's illegal everywhere else in the world. And she kind of beat around the bush. She said that there's a lot of positive things with payment for order flow. And then I interjected that, well, payment for order flow doesn't help retail investors. Then she said that's where we have to disagree. But the bottom line is, she kind of beat around the bush on the payment for order flow also. We also brought up the fines. How the fines are so petty that they do not deter the bad actors from continuing on their course of action. And then she went in to say that she thinks some of the fines are adequate and that at times they do take the licenses, because I had interjected that a lot of times the fines do not deter the bad actors. And if somebody was fined 59 times in 20 years, why are they still able to trade? Why are they still licensed to trade? And she said you got to look at each action individually. You can't put it all together. So as far as I'm concerned, she kind of evaded that question also. And then I asked her about a conflict of interest. I said, is it a conflict of interest if a entity is the market maker, the hedge fund, and the dark pool? I asked her, if an entity shorts a stock and then, as the market maker, continues to print counterfeit shares and push them into the market to dilute the value of the share, helping their short position, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest? And her response to me was, well, we have to look at each case individually, and I'd have to look at it individually, and she evaded that question also. I didn't really like the answer that she gave. And I asked her about the infinite counterfeit shares as far as virtual CEO, and I even gave her the example of there's only 200 shares available, and somebody put in an order for 1,000 shares, and the virtual CEO said they would just fill the order and make 800 infinite fake synthetic counterfeit shares. And she said, well, we'd have to look into that further. Every situation is different, and blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is, I didn't really get answers to the questions that was important to us. But of course, you know, if y'all know me, you know I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm not going to stop asking the hard questions. And I'm going to make sure I do everything in my power to ensure that we have a fair and transparent market for all investors. Okay? A fair and transparent market for all investors. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff. I really appreciate y'all on this journey with me. Have a great day. God bless.